Come with me. Come with me to discover the secrets of how thoughts become things, and we will manifest like never before. Come with me, and we'll discover a secret so powerful that will take you far beyond your dreams. Come with me on an unforgettable journey. Come with me. It's already yours. Get ready for this adventure, and I'm thankful for today that you found us, so get ready. The time is now. I'm Zelda Kelly. Welcome to Secrets Laws of Attraction. Hello, my friends. I am so happy to be back with you again for this episode of Secrets Laws of Attraction. Tonight, well, it's early morning, I've been compelled to talk to you about maybe some heartfelt situations that you may resonate with, because I know it just almost sounds too easy and then it feels too difficult. And I want to share a few things with you that I have gone through many years ago to show you that you're not alone, and to show you what I did in order to climb out of the situations that I got myself into. That's right, I got myself into because I made bad choices when I knew that I was not supposed to do it, and I did it anyway. You've been there. We all have. No judgment here, right? So it's me. Let's chat. And I wanted to first of all thank Psychic Secrets for this platform, because I know it's helping so many of you. And if you have a question, a comment, or if you're being helped by this series, please leave your comment below. We would really appreciate your feedback. So I want to just talk about relationships. Further on down the line, we're going to talk about money and career and maybe anything else that comes along, friendships. But tonight, this morning, it is early morning, I want to talk to you about relationships. There was a time many, many years ago that I did not feel good enough. It seemed like every Christmas that came around, everyone in my family had someone but me. I always felt like the odd man out, that there was something wrong with me, that I couldn't find anybody that had qualities that I wanted. And I always felt less than. I felt like I just didn't stack up. You know, I know you felt like that. And even though your family and your friends don't really mean to make you feel that way, you do. You do. And you can't help it. I sure couldn't. So over the years, my goal was never to be alone on Christmas. And what happened is that I lowered my standards. Now, what does that mean when I say that? I'm not cutting anyone down. I'm not saying anything that I shouldn't be saying. What I'm saying is that I started choosing people that felt like they needed me more than I needed them. Or I started choosing people that needed to be fixed so they would need me and stick around and stay around. Because I had been left many times. And as many of you probably can guess, I'm a very strong woman, and it takes a very strong, probably stronger man to handle me. Now, what do I mean by handle me? I mean emotionally, physically, spiritually. Not weak. And some people are weak, men and women. That's the way it goes. That's life in general. I'm strong in business, and I'm strong in life, and I study hard, I play hard, and I want to live even harder. With that said, I started choosing people that would accept me for what I felt, which was not true, but I felt that I was flawed. I don't know why, but I just felt like I was always flawed, like I was never good enough. There were other family members that had been married to the same person for years, and there I was, not even a relationship. I mean, they would go from maybe a month, 3 months, 4 years maybe. During the time, it would be so tumultuous and toxic, drastic, dramatic, horrible, abusive, physically and mentally and verbally abusive. Yes, I went through it all, just like some of you. But I didn't choose to walk away because I felt that if I loved them that much harder, then things would be all right, because I felt like I was flawed and I felt like a failure. Now, I want you to know that I have taught the laws of attraction for years. And during this time frame, it seems like I just blanked out. I didn't practice it. I didn't think about it. Oh, I practiced it all right, but I was really manifesting everything negative on the scope of everything, because my attitude was negative, my affirmations were negative. I invited problems into my life, which never should have been. Never, ever. But the common denominator was that 99% of the time, they were alcoholics. They were not drug addicts. They were not anything else, but they were alcoholics. And 98% of the time, had a temper. And I knew, look out. If they started to drink, look out, look out. I would sometimes have to run and hide. Or I would lock myself with my son in his bedroom until it all blew over. But here's what changed the course. And I know that many of you are resonating, and I know that some of you are going, what, you, Zelda? You? Yes, me. Because I'm human. And I've told you that I would never teach you or talk to you about anything that I hadn't been through myself. Well, this is it. This is the relationship thing. So because I was not learning my lesson, each relationship got worse. Everyone coming in, most generally, would just be so lovey-dovey. They would fall in love with me quickly. They would want to be around me all the time. And then they would want me to share my money, my house. They would ultimately quit their job and move in because I would just create such excitement. Seriously. That they just would love to hear me talk on the phone in business and in readings, and they would just love it. And then all of a sudden one day, they would realize that they didn't have money coming in and they would have to depend on me. And I would say no to many things. Like no to the alcoholism, no to the vast amount of money, no to the money that they wanted for children or family, and I mean grown children, family and their friends. And when I started saying no, the problems began and the blame started. Now, I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad for me, because I don't feel bad for me. I've made it through. I'm an overcomer, and so are you. But you have to know that you are not alone and that you are good enough. So the thing that happened is that I was married a few years ago. And during the course of some circumstances, my marriage was failing on a very, very, very quick level, going spiraling down, and I couldn't stop it. I lived in a big, beautiful house. I had beautiful things. I had family around me, and yet my marriage, for some reason, was failing. Well, one day I came home with my kids. My daughter was grown. She had my granddaughter, and my son, who was a lot younger. Came home to an empty house, and the dog was in the cage in the garage waiting for me to come in. And I could tell when I walked through the garage something was wrong, because the garage door from the garage going into the kitchen was slightly ajar. And he had been there. And little did I know this was planned. He cleaned me out. He invited his sister and brother-in-law, and I believe my best friend. So, talk about clean me out. They took the washer and dryer, and that morning I had done a load of laundry that was my son's, and my son's clothes were still, some of them in the dryer. They took it all. They took my dresser full of my beautiful sweaters and jewelry and makeup and everything. They took the bedroom suit, the mattresses. Can you believe they even unbolted the stovetop? That's right. It was a stovetop in the kitchen. They unbolted it and took that. They took my refrigerator. They were trying to take the kitchen sink, literally, but they couldn't get it out of the counter because it had been an undermount. They took light bulbs, paper towels, toilet paper, you name it. My food, everything. They even took the light bulbs out of the overhead lamps. And this was in January, and it was going to get dark soon. I did not have hardly anything left. They tried to take my big bedroom, and it was, you could tell they tried to move it and gave up because it was taking too long. They took all my beautiful furniture, my paintings, pots and pans. When I say I was cleaned out, my darlings, it was an empty home that looked like I was robbed. And I guess in a way I was. This had papers. There were papers thrown all over. It looked like my house had been ransacked. My clothes were gone. They left my son's mattress. They left my daughter's mattress that was in a room that she had been staying in while she was getting ready to move into another home. They left a small TV that was my son's. And that was it. I didn't know what to do. I walked in and I couldn't even cry. And to add insult to injury, not only did he take all of my things, my paintings, my furniture, clothes, things of my kids, he cleaned out my bank account. And we're not talking just a couple of $100. We're talking multiple thousands. And I mean thousands. Along with a car, along with other assets. And I'm going to tell you, you haven't lived. Maybe you have, but you haven't lived until you have to recover financially on top of replacing everything. I'll tell you, do that a couple of times, and you'll know your worth. Believe me. And when he did that, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because not only did he leave me practically homeless, but he left me penniless and everything that I'd accumulated, and funds that I was actually looking to use in the future for a family member were gone. Couldn't recover. We were married, and that was it. So we sat down, and I could tell that there was panic on my kids' face. They didn't know. They felt horrible for me, and yet they didn't know. I mean, they even took one of my cars. So I told my daughter that I was going to go to the Olive Garden. I was going to get us the best dinner that I was going to ever get. In the meantime, I went over to the home improvement store. I bought a washer and dryer to be brought over. And then I had to plan. We had dinner and on the floor, on an old blanket that we had found that was in the corner that they had missed in the den by the fireplace. And the light started getting dim. It was starting to get night, and we did not have any lights in the house. Not one. So we decided to go to bed. We sat up and talked, we told stories, and I did everything that I could to make my kids laugh that night. Now, this was not their father, and thank God for that. And so that night, as everybody was slept, I walked around the house and picked up things that I thought still might be of use. And I found this movie called The Secret. Now, I had seen it before, and I thought, well, might be a good time to put it in now. So I used my son's TV that had this little DVD player in it. And all night long, I laid there and played this movie over and over and over again. And I learned. And I learned that what I had gotten myself into because I ignored some big, heavy warning signs. And I ignored them. I knew, but I ignored them. And that's why things kept spiraling, because I would not make a change. I did not focus on me. I was focusing on him and doing everything that I could to try to make him happy, and I was doing what I thought would make the situation better, and it just kept getting worse. As I laid there in tears, watching this movie over and over, I got up, went downstairs, and I sat in what used to be our bedroom on the floor, and I made a vow to myself that I would never get into a pickle like that again. It took me a few years to recover financially from that, mentally, spiritually. But the reason I'm telling you this is because if you see warning signs, like you feel that this isn't going well, or that you have to pay too much attention and you can't pay attention to yourself, yes, this is abuse, and I want you to call someone. And I want you to talk to them about it. I didn't have anybody to call. I thought I could handle this myself. But I ignored it. And on purpose. So finally, I had climbed out of that situation, not before having friends and family hurting because of the same thing, and having to still deal with him to a certain degree until our divorce. And if you can imagine, after all this, he returned only to serve me with divorce papers on Valentine's Day. Yeah, the guy was the only world's living heart donor. He was just I can't even say it. So you've been there. So now you know. Now you know. There was a brief relationship after. He too was an alcoholic. And before it got any further, I stepped back and I looked at myself and I thought, what is going on? What do I need to do to change this? Because at that moment, I remembered the laws of attraction. I remembered manifestation. I remembered that what I was manifesting and what I was saying that I didn't want, I was getting. Every time, when a relationship ended, I would say, well, there's one thing for sure. I am never going to have another alcoholic. And I am never going to have another abusive relationship. And I am never going to have anybody that does this or anybody that does that. I am not going to do that again. No, no, no. And I walked around stating what I didn't want instead of what I did. And I was attracting that because the universe, my darlings, does not know the difference between what you don't want and what you do unless you state it. They can't, the universe, God's universe, can't sit there and make a decision for you. It only follows that law of vibration and frequency so that if you say whatever it is, you're going to get it. Watch what you wish for. You're going to get it. And that's what was happening with me. I was continuing to attract that alcoholic, abusive personality and narcissist. Let's just add narcissist on top of it. And you know what they say about narcissist, a narcissist personality. When the devil can't show up, he sends a narcissist. Well, for those of you who know and who've not gotten help, you know that is a true statement. So after I climbed out of all of this, and believe me, I had to climb out of this, I was able to step back and look at me. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said that I had to realize there was nothing wrong with me. Nothing. And I didn't need someone of that caliber to accept me the way that I was and am. I didn't need to fix anyone. I didn't need to reach out and feel that if I only went for a person who was out of the category that I had written down and was trying to manifest, that maybe, just maybe, he would see that I am educated and I am so much better, and therefore he would want me more. That is all unhealthy and toxic thinking. So I had to step back and look at myself. And I realized throughout this whole time period, which was a very long time, it was me that was attracting this. It was me that was accepting this. It was me who invited this to come in. And the moment that I realized that until I learned my lesson, I was going to continue to have to go through the lesson until I learned it. And each time was going to get harder and harder. It was the God's universe knocking at the door and going, hello, Zelda, are you not seeing? Are you not manifesting? Are you not figuring this out? Okay, well, maybe because you can't see it, we're going to give it just a little harder. That's the way it felt. And quite frankly, I'm glad it did happen that way so I could see it. So if you're in a relationship right now that is abusive or you're having a hard time, number one, I want you to get help. There are local chapters that can help you for abused people, not just women. Men go through the same thing too. Call your pastor, call your friend, call your relative and tell them, I'm having a hard time. I need some help. But the second thing I want you to do is look. I want you to look at yourself. Look at yourself long and hard in the mirror and say, what have I done to attract this? Maybe it's not what you've done, but maybe could it be what you're not doing? Because that was the case for me. I was not focusing on myself. I was not focusing on my circumstances. I was not paying attention to warning signs. I was not paying attention. I was not paying attention. And I did not focus on me first. So what happened after that? Well, after I had this long chat with myself, and I forgave myself, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, you're not such a bad chick after all. It turned around immediately. And when I say immediately, my attitude changed. And I started feeling so much better and happier. I did not walk around with a scowl on my face because I couldn't figure out anything. And my darlings, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes you don't need to figure out the details. Sometimes you don't need closure. Because the reason why you want closure is you just want answers. And my honeys, my darlings, my friends, sometimes the answers are just not there except what it is. If you've been left, that's your answer. If you have to leave, that's your answer. It doesn't mean anything more or less. It only means that the both of you were not made for each other. And that was the hard thing. If you're holding on too tight, just like I was, remember that song, 38 Special? Hold on loosely, but don't let go. If you cling too tightly, you're going to lose control. And that is exactly, no better lyrics were written than this. So from now on now, if you're going through this, remember, get help first. But you start focusing on yourself. You start paying attention for yourself. You do something for you. Because I will tell you, it is a law in the laws of attraction that when you focus on you and you make the change, the positive change, and you watch your words, and you watch your actions, and you don't step into a pile of you-know-what because you think you're going to come out smelling like a rose because in the past, well, you always used to, or you always did, or you always have. When you start making those changes, then it is impossible for any circumstance, any situation, or any person around you not to change. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to change for the better, or that doesn't mean that it is going to change for the better. It means it's going to change so you can look at the situation and you make your decision. You make your decisions. Never put your own happiness into someone else's hands. Never require someone else to make you happy or to make your emotions the way you feel that you want to be. Remember that your thoughts are not the facts. And if you're having negative thoughts, stop yourself immediately and doubt it. Question your thoughts. Why am I thinking this way? What happened to, oh, I get it. Okay, well, you know what? That's not as bad as what it is. Or maybe it's, this doesn't smell right. Maybe I need to make a change. You see where I'm going? That's what I did. That's what I did. I'm single now. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be single forever. That just means that's my choice now. And it's not that I don't trust myself, because I certainly do. Because I can recognize the signs, I can recognize the circumstance, and I will not put myself through that ever, ever, ever again. I love my life right now. I am independent. I work when I want to. I eat when I want to. All kinds of good things. And I'm enjoying my life for, well, it's been a while, but for the first time that I had in a long time. I don't feel like I have a ball and chain of pressure around my neck that I have to have somebody talk to me, or I have to have this man text me, or this person call me, or if they don't, my day will be ruined, and why is this happening? Why is this and why is that? Because you have allowed yourself to be dictated, and you have allowed someone else to dictate your life on your behalf. Take your life back. Take your control back. Now, things that I have said in previous videos, I'm going to repeat right now. The healthy way to attract is to say, wouldn't it be nice if my specific person would text me, would call me? I know that would make them feel better. But here's the tagline that I want you all to remember. I don't know when this is happening, but it's coming. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's coming. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if my specific person would now show up in my life? I'm ready for love. I attract love. I attract money. I attract good people around me that have my best interests at heart. Wouldn't it be nice? I know it would make them feel better too. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do know that it's coming. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to share my story. We're not alone. But get out of this. Get out of it quickly if you're in that right now. Sit back, take stock. You can make the change. You know you can. What's holding you back is fear. And I'm going to tell you, my darlings, the fear of loss should not be entering your minds if you are in an abusive relationship or you feel uncertain or uncomfortable. You focus on you, you get help, and you make that change as soon as you possibly can. Wouldn't it be nice if you did? I know you would feel so much better. I don't know when you're going to be able to do it, but I do know that you'll be doing it soon. I want to thank you so much for giving me this time. I think I said that already, but I am so thankful for you, because if it weren't for you, well, I wouldn't be here. And I'm just happy that I am. And I'm happy for you today, because I know that you're listening to this because you needed to. And hopefully this has helped someone out there. I love you, and I wish you well. I wish you all the blessings in the world, and I wish you to have a brave heart. And until the next time of Secrets Laws of Attraction, I wish you happy manifesting. Bye for now.